A betrayal of trust, an abuse of public office. These are the accusations now swirling around the king's own brother, Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor. The monarchy is facing a crisis that cuts right to the heart of the royal family itself. For the first time, a reigning monarch has signaled that if the police come knocking, the palace will cooperate in an investigation into his own sibling, a move that could shake the very foundations of the House of Windsor. King Charles has indicated the Crown is prepared to support a police assessment into his brother, Prince Andrew, should they be asked. The move comes as shocking new allegations have surfaced that Andrew may have shared confidential state information with the late convicted sex offender, Jeffrey Epstein. In this video, we'll break down what this means for the royal family, the potential for a criminal trial, and the fallout from a scandal that threatens to redefine the British monarchy. This latest chapter began not in a palace, but with a massive release of documents from the U.S. Department of Justice at the end of January 2026. Buried within millions of pages related to the Epstein investigation were emails that revealed something deeply disturbing. These messages suggest that in 2010 and 2011, while serving as Britain's special representative for international trade and investment, Andrew was forwarding sensitive government information to Jeffrey Epstein. This wasn't just a casual chat. According to the documents, Andrew emailed Epstein his official itinerary for a 2-week trade tour of Southeast Asia. He then allegedly forwarded confidential reports from his visits to Singapore, Hong Kong, China, and Vietnam, reports written by his taxpayer-funded special assistant, to Epstein's inbox, in one case less than 5 minutes after receiving them himself. But perhaps the most serious allegation centers on a confidential briefing about investment opportunities related to rebuilding Helmand Province in Afghanistan, where British troops were serving at the time. Andrew allegedly sent this brief to Epstein, asking for his comments, views, or ideas. This wasn't just poor judgment. This was a man in a unique position of public trust, with access to state information, allegedly sharing it with a disgraced financier. The question that hangs in the air is simple, yet profound. Why? Why was a British prince, a trade envoy for the United Kingdom, sharing potentially sensitive government information with a man like Jeffrey Epstein? The answer has set in motion a chain of events that now places Andrew in serious legal jeopardy. So what does this all mean legally? Can a member of the royal family really be held accountable by the law, like an ordinary citizen? The answer is yes, and the charges being considered are severe. The complaint, filed by the anti-monarchy group Republic, accuses Andrew of 2 specific offenses: misconduct in public office and breaches of the Official Secrets Act. Let's break those down. Misconduct in public office is a common law offense in the UK. It applies to any public office holder who willfully neglects or abuses the public's trust without a reasonable excuse. As a trade envoy, Andrew was a public official. Sharing confidential reports from that job could certainly be seen as an abuse of trust. That offense carries a maximum sentence of life imprisonment. Then there's the Official Secrets Act, which is designed to protect state secrets. Government guidance for trade envoys explicitly requires them to maintain confidentiality. Forwarding those reports, especially one concerning an active conflict zone, could be a clear violation. Thames Valley Police have confirmed they are officially assessing the information. This is the standard first step before deciding whether to launch a full-blown criminal investigation. The idea of the king's brother being questioned by police, let alone standing trial, was once unthinkable. Now, it's a very real possibility. For years, the scandal around Andrew has been a fire the palace has desperately tried to put out. So what changed? Why is this all blowing up now? The answer is a rapid sequence of events that made the situation impossible to ignore. First came the release of over 3 million pages of Epstein-related documents by the U.S. Justice Department. As journalists dug through this mountain of data, the emails between Andrew and Epstein came to light, providing hard evidence where before there had only been rumors. Next, the anti-monarchy group Republic seized on these revelations and filed a formal complaint with the police, citing specific potential crimes. This moved the issue from the court of public opinion into the legal arena, forcing an official response. Then came the public reaction. The story was everywhere. As the new allegations spread, King Charles was confronted directly by the public's anger. During a royal walkabout in Lancashire, he was heckled with questions about his brother. The pressure was no longer a distant problem. It was on his doorstep. Finally, the king's team responded. Faced with this mounting pressure from the press, the public, and the police, the palace's strategy of silence was no longer an option. A new, more decisive approach was needed. On February 9, 2026, Buckingham Palace released a statement that sent shockwaves across the country. It was a carefully worded piece of crisis management, but also a blunt admission of how serious this was. The statement read, in part, "The king has made clear, in words and through unprecedented actions, his profound concern at allegations which continue to come to light in respect of Mr. Mountbatten Windsor's conduct." The message was obvious. This is Andrew's problem. But the most critical line was this: "If we are approached by Thames Valley Police, we stand ready to support them, as you would expect." This wasn't a defense of his brother. This was King Charles giving a green light to police cooperation, should it be requested. The statement also made a point of reiterating sympathies for Epstein's victims, a deliberate effort to align the crown with the victims, not the accused. The future king and queen, Prince William and Princess Catherine, quickly followed suit. A spokesperson for the couple stated they were deeply concerned by the continuing revelations and that their thoughts remained focused on the victims. Sources close to William reportedly wanted there to be zero doubt about his feelings on the matter. This coordinated response, this moment, is the result of a long and public fall from grace. It's worth remembering how he got here. Questions about Andrew's friendship with Jeffrey Epstein have followed him for over a decade. But the crisis really exploded after his disastrous 2019 BBC Newsnight interview, where his explanations were widely seen as unbelievable and lacking empathy. The fallout was immediate. He was forced to step back from public duties. Then came the civil lawsuit from Virginia Giuffre, an Epstein survivor who alleged Andrew had sexually abused her when she was a minor. Andrew consistently denied these allegations, but settled out of court in 2022 for a reported multi-million-dollar sum. Virginia Giuffre tragically died by suicide in 2025. Under King Charles's reign, the consequences have become even more severe. In 2025, Charles stripped his brother of his remaining royal and military titles, including the ability to use His Royal Highness. He is now simply Andrew Mountbatten Windsor. In early February 2026, just as these latest allegations were breaking, Andrew was also made to leave his longtime home at Royal Lodge, moving to the more modest Sandringham estate. Each step has been a deliberate and public severing of ties, an attempt to insulate the crown from the scandal. But with the threat of a criminal investigation now on the table, it's clear the story is far from over. This is a fast-moving story with huge implications for the royal family and the UK. What do you think happens next? Could Andrew really face charges? And what does this all mean for the future of the monarchy under King Charles? Let us know what you think in the comments. And if you want to stay on top of this and other major stories, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications. King Charles has drawn a line. By publicly stating his readiness to cooperate with a police investigation into his own brother, he has made a calculated bet. He is gambling that a show of transparency is the only way to save the monarchy from the poison of this scandal. He is choosing the institution over his own family. But the road ahead is filled with risk. A police investigation, a potential trial, a prince in the dock. These are scenarios that could do lasting damage to the mystique and authority of the crown. We are watching a crisis for the monarchy unfold in real time. The king has made his move. Now, the world waits to see what the police do next and whether the House of Windsor can withstand the coming storm.